Hello and welcome everyone to a little game called Will You Press the Button? Now, this is going to be a short little video today, just so that you guys get to know me a little better. You see what I look like now. I'm doing face cams, and you know what Conbeastador looks like, but you don't know who Conbeastador is. So, I figure we'll do a little bit of this game. You've probably seen it on some other bigger YouTube channels, but I think it's still a pretty great way to do this one way or another. The idea behind it is there's a button, and you're offered something, but you have to give something up in return. So, if I push this button, I will not have to sleep for the rest of my life, but to make up for the lost sleep, you will be in a coma for the next 20 years, beginning when you push the button. And then you get to decide, will you take the deal, or will you leave it on the table? So for me, sitting here watching this, I am not going to push the button. Because for me, I'm young and healthy, and I can do so much with my time. I can explore the world, I can meet people, that kind of thing. And 20 years from now, my life should be much more settled, and I won't be able to do things like that. So as nice as it would be to not have to sleep, I'm gonna have to decline on that one. And then it tells you how many people agree with you. So yeah, a lot of people agreed with me. They did not take the deal. 69% of them. All right, then on to the next one. You will never die and feel any pain, but you will love to kill. Okay. But that could be taken a lot of ways, right? You will never die and feel any pain. So you're immortal in every way. You're indestructible, but you will love to kill. That doesn't mean like you have to kill, right? You would just love to kill. So that's like me saying I like to hunt, right? But I don't do it all the time. In fact, hardly ever. So I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a loophole. Like you just like doing it. You love doing it. But, yeah, I'd take immortality and just fight the urge to not kill people. I feel like that's a pretty easy thing to do, is just not kill people. So there you go. That's my thoughts on that. Oh, another invincible thing. You're immortal and invincible, but you can never find someone to spend eternity with. Doesn't that come with being immortal as it is? That's another thing I didn't think about. The never die thing. I was thinking like you can't die. But now that I think about it, the question is you can never die. You're immortal and invincible, but you can never find someone to spend eternity with. Now that I'm actually looking at it this way, if you're immortal, everyone around you, everything around you will eventually deteriorate and crumble away and die. There's no way that you could live your life happily, because any connection that you make will eventually just be gone. I think I probably have to say no. And I kind of wish I'd said no on the other one. I hadn't thought about the forever part. I just thought that you couldn't die. But for this one, eternity, you'd be the last thing left. You'd have to watch everything, absolutely everything. Any new connection you would make would eventually be severed and that kind of thing. And I don't know if that's the way I'd want to live. All right, next one up. Hit me with it. What's the next one? You get to hang out with Beyonce for a week, but she thinks you're super annoying and tries to get rid of you. Okay. I'm not personally like a Beyonce fanatic. So this one, I wouldn't really spend a week of my time having somebody try to make me go away. Yeah, apparently a lot of people agree with me. I'm not enough of a Beyonce fanatic for that to matter for me. Okay, you can have any car you like anytime, but Hitler will ride shotgun every time. What? Why? Okay, this doesn't really work for me either, because I'm not a car buff. I'm not huge into trucks and cars and things on wheels. For me, it's a mode of transportation. It gets me from point A to point B. I don't worry about that kind of thing. And honestly, I'm not going to be responsible for bringing Hitler back from the dead. So I'm just going to go ahead and say no. There we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, wait, no, go back. What was the question? Oh, too many button clicks. Okay. You can turn invisible, but only when nobody's watching. Apparently I clicked yes, but honestly, I would totally... Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. This has more to it. It says that you can turn invisible, but only when nobody is watching. That means you get to stay invisible. Yeah, there's no downside, right? Like, all that is you have to preemptively turn invisible. That's the only thing. And then you get the free superpower to turn invisible. So, like, if I just slip behind my green screen, well, I actually would be invisible, first of all, which is kind of dope technology. But then, as long as no one's looking at me directly, I could just be invisible. Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Press yes. No downside. You live forever, but everyone you know and love won't live forever. That's a pretty similar question to before. There we go. You can browse the web telepathically anywhere at any time, but each grammatical error causes you physical pain to you? Oh my god. First of all, neither one of the choices, there's no comma at the end of the first one, and there's no period at the end of the second one. So right there, I would be in excruciating pain simply visiting this website from where I'm at. No, I would not. How excruciating is the physical pain, actually? Is it like an ant bite? Is it like a little nip and you're done, or... Okay, because if it's like a little nip and you're done, then yeah, I would totally take that power, but I feel like what they're getting at is you will be in physical pain for each grammatical error, and I just would not be able to handle that in my life. Okay, you can selectively grant unlimited wishes, but you cannot grant your own wishes, or any wish that directly benefits you. Okay. So, that's a little interesting of a question, right? So, I'm like the genie. I can grant any wish I want, but you cannot grant any your own wishes or any wish that directly benefits you. So they can't say, I want a Ferrari, and then I go, and it's done, and then they give me the Ferrari. My instinctive first choice would be to say, yes, I would like to be able to do that, because there's so many people I can help, right? There's so many situations that I could fix with this kind of power, people that are suffering. But at the same time, what that means is that indirectly, I would be responsible for all human suffering, if that makes sense. I know I'm taking that to the meta, but I don't think a human being is supposed to have that kind of power. To be able to grant any wish that you want, as soon as I say no, right? Like, of course, someone could come up to me and be like, I wish I didn't have cancer. I'd snap my fingers to be done. But at the same time, then that means that every single person who dies of starvation, every single person who dies of a sickness, that's on me at that point. You know, that's on me. And not to mention, I can selectively grant it, but then I'm only a human being. I can't extrapolate that to the extreme, you know? Like, I cure someone of cancer and then his great-grandchild becomes the next Hitler or something. You know, you don't know. You don't know that kind of thing. I'm gonna have to say I will not. I don't believe me as a mortal human being could handle that kind of power. I just don't think I could. Or I couldn't do right by it. Not for an eternity. I couldn't do right for a whole eternity with that kind of power. You'll be given $1 million every 5 years, 200K a year, that's pretty solid. But 90% of it goes to feminist support groups. Okay, well, I mean, first of all, let's just look at the numbers of this. You're given $1 million every 5 years, which is actually $100,000 every 5 years, which is actually $20,000 a year for 5 years, but you don't get to invest it. And 90% of it goes to feminist support groups. I don't have a problem with feminist support groups. It's free money. I'm gonna click yes. And of course I'm supporting the traditional idea of feminism that states that females and males are equal. Because that's just, I do believe that. I believe that females and males are equal. And then the gender doesn't have to do with a whole lot other than biology and some biological traits, you know, but that's fine. And as long as it's not going to burning down barns and stuff like that, I don't care. It's $20,000 a year in my pocket, and I don't necessarily have anything against the other side, so there you go. All the animals on Earth are replaced by Pokemon. Okay, that's pretty dope. Everyone has one except you. What's the point? Okay, I know I've been pretty, like, selfless so far, but come on. If the world's full of Pokemon, why can't I have one? Also, now that I think about it, there's some messed up Pokemon. I mean, let's take Ghastly, for instance. It eats your night. It eats your dreams, right? No. Actually, it'd be horrible if Pokemon were real. There's so many of them out there would just screw with this whole world. Like, what's another good one? Grimer. If our sludge gained sentience? No, I'm fine. Don't need any of that in my life. Alright, let's do two more. Here we go. You could live forever. I already don't like this. But you would have to watch all your friends die of age. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. That's the same as the other ones. It's the same question. It's just posed a different way. Last one. Here we go. You know everything about anything in the universe. Omniscience, okay? I mean, yeah, omniscience. Nobody will ever know it, and even if you tell them, they won't remember. What's the negative? What's the negative? I wouldn't even want people to know I was omniscient. Can you imagine that kind of pressure? I mean, you would answer any question forever. You'd just be like, hey, when am I gonna die? Oh, that day, that second. Oh, wow. Huh. That's different. That's different. I didn't think about that. If you know everything, what's the point of being alive? You know the end of your own story. You know every single second of everything that's about to happen to you. And everyone else, for that matter. It's not just knowledge, it's pure omniscience. Omniscience defeats the purpose of existence. I know exactly what I'm gonna eat for breakfast 3 years from now. I know what every sentient alien on ever is gonna eat 3 years from now. I know how everyone will interact with everything for the rest of forever. And that's completely pointless. I mean, at that point, what does time even mean? What does being here even mean? I'm gonna have to say no. That's not knowledge. That defeats the purpose of being alive. A lot of people said yes, but I gotta say no to that one. I feel like, why read a book if you know how it ends? Why live life if you know everything that's coming your way? So anyways, hope that gave a little bit of insight into who I am, my personality, what kinds of choices I make. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave that thumbs up, let me know. If you want to support my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe. And of course, hit that notification bell when you want to know when I live stream. And I will see you guys in the next episode of, I think it's Subnautica next. Subnautica.